Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video we are joined by one of the Hydra Creator Clash competitors. It's a man you all know and love. It's YST. How are you doing, man?
How's it going, Mr. Nubby? We're chilling. How was your stream last night up until like 9 in the morning?
Yeah, guys, the stream was until 1 a.m., the Deadwood Jedi stream, and yeah, then I couldn't get to sleep until about 3 in the morning afterwards. So yeah, if you guys want to watch this, by the way, come over to Deadwood Jedi's YouTube channel.
Oh no, we've disappeared.
Wait, we have disappeared? Oh, you've disappeared. Oh, there we go. Are you back?
Yeah, we're back.
You're saved. Okay, keep an eye on that. Brain is tired. Production skills limited. But yeah, if you check out the live tab on Deadwood Jedi on YouTube, I'll link it in the description so you can find it. We had day one over here, which obviously you, YSD, were part of. We're going to discuss that. And then we had day two, which was split into two because we had a crash halfway through, which I was part of. So yeah, 4 different teams every single day. And it was honestly pretty intense, right? Let's talk about day one first, which was MTG versus Scratch, and YSC then you versus Cold Brew. Overall impressions of the day, like how did things go as you expected, or was it a bit spicier?
It went, I guess, like when Cold Brew showed his end result, I felt it was what I expected. I've always said that Cold Brew's team was one of the most underrated in the whole draft in total, because his team is built very similar to mine in the way of multiple supports, multiple DPS, and it's just like an all-rounder, like classic team, right? Having a provoker and all of that good stuff. So when we kind of compared the end results, we was very similar of our average damage. I think his was around 110 and mine was about 130-ish as like an average.
Yeah.
So he just got really bad RNG on the day, unfortunately. It was still really cool to see the potential of someone like a Nishak, because I've never seen like a bomb team before in a Hydra boss. Have you done that before?
I've used them a little bit. Yeah, I mean, Nishak does a ton of damage, but you mentioned it as being the downside, is he does fill up the debuff bar, and then you cannot place the provoke on the head of decay. So that could be a big problem. But yeah, I mean, he does a ton of damage. Now, he doesn't have increased attack, so you're not seeing his max potential. But big damage. He brings decreased attack as well, which is great. So yeah, he's good. I've used like War Mother as well. She's quite good too. She also has bombs.
Really?
Yeah, because her bombs do like bonus damage against bosses, or yeah, something like that. High HP enemies. So she actually does really good damage too. So yeah, bomb champions are underrated for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. And then even with MTG and Scratch, like them team, they both had like one super OP DPS each with Taras and Trunda. So it's basically who could pump out the best damage and the best RNG. But unfortunately, MTG fell a little bit short, so it might have been a little bit less competitive. But it still blew me away. Like I've never seen Taras in a Hydra team before. And I knew that you'd be able to deal good damage, just not how much, because not everyone has a Taras, right? You don't see it every day.
Yeah.
But he blew me away. Like he still hit over 100 million, right? On live on the stream.
Yeah.
So just to see 100 millions round the board there was like, he kicked it off in a crazy way, like set the bar straight away. I was like, damn, we got a lot to live up to here, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one thing was interesting that I've been doing as I was going through, I did record a video on my side of the draft, and then I was like, you know what, I'm not going to bother publishing it actually. But we'll talk about it now. But I went through and I was looking at like what I thought were the weaknesses of each of the teams. And then I think it was really interesting to look at the champions that people swapped in to sort of try fix those problems. And whether it worked or not. So, for example, MTG Jedi was the first competitor. I thought, man, his team, we look at it, very limited on provoking. And also his perfect veil isn't, well, it's not perfect. Ragash brings a little bit, but that's it. And like Uko alone in a provoke set, you could have lots of cleanses going through. It could be bad. He subbed in. He took out Duodan, who's kind of a mischief tank, made Ragash a mischief tank. And he actually brought Razzlevarg in instead in a provoke set. So that definitely fixed one of his problems, right? It gave him 2 taunt sets or 2 provoke sets. I always get them mixed up, which is which.
It's the same.
Yeah, so it gave him 2 chances to lock it down. Much more control. It didn't fix the Veil problem, but I guess that wasn't a big problem and brought him in more damage as well. What did you like the Razzlevarg sub in? Did you expect that? It kind of took me by surprise, to be honest. It wasn't.
Yeah, I didn't expect it 100%. The one thing that I did think was a leech would be amazing in this team, and that's exactly what you brought in. So it was really good to see that he made that change. I was excited to see Duoden's potential because I felt like I underestimated him a little bit in terms of Duoden's pick. But he does have a good kit, right? He does extend buffs. He does the taunt buff and all of that good stuff. But I think overall, Rise of Arg, with the you could see in the damage potential that it was the right switch to make.
Yeah, it was a great switch. So that was cool. And honestly, this team performs super well. Like it does obviously have a problem with the provoke sets. Even if you have two of them, it can fail, and the True Fear could mess you up with that. So those in combination. Same for a lot of the teams. Honestly, that's kind of a weakness of most of the teams. But like, just what a strong team, and really, especially these Void Legendaries right here. Just the raw power that they're bringing to the team, and the damage output was like, oh my gosh, just absolutely smashing through Brutal.
To Mizia as well, like she was nearly on par to us, right? From what I remember, she was whacking out numbers in that team. I was like, wow.
Absolutely. I do think it's quite funny now, looking back in hindsight. MTG Jedi coming last in the voting is so clearly wrong.
Yeah.
Thought that was quite funny. Looking at Scratch's team, Scratch, I saw his problems were no Mischief Tank and a bit limited Veil. Now, he didn't make any changes, so he does have those problems with the team. It's just the way it is. But it's just the raw power. It just blew everything up. Didn't even matter. Just so much damage. It doesn't matter.
Like 50 million in like 10 turns or something.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I have to sit here and focus for 20 minutes trying to get that damage.
I know.
I'm scared. Like, just knowing that I've got Scratch in the next round is like, I'm there preparing for the semi-finals, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, am I wasting my time here? Like, is this even possible to pull this out the bag? But I'll try, man.
Yeah. I mean, can you win? Probably not, but to be fair, to be real, but like, can you like make your team the best it can be and put on a really good show? I think absolutely. So yeah, we'll see. I think Scratch as well is subbing out the overpowered Trunda that just won him that round, and I think he's stealing MTG Jedi's Taras, which is also really strong. So I think his team is probably, I don't know, I am assuming it's not going to be as strong because you're not going to have the crazy Trunda stuff going on, but Taras is extremely good, so it's still going to be a nutty team.
I actually wonder if he's gonna keep the Taras in the team. Like, although he did say he wants to bring the Marie for the final and steal it from me and stuff. That's his end goal.
That'd be cool, right?
It would be really cool, but I'm not sure if he's making a mistake here or underestimating the team a little bit of what I can bring out. Because if he gets bad RNG with Taras,
that's true. Yeah,
it's possible, right? But I don't know. I gotta pray. Like, the only way that I can potentially win is if I get the best RNG I've ever seen, and then he gets the worst RNG that's imaginable. So,
yeah,
I don't know, man.
Let's talk about Cold Brew and you then. So let's do Cold Brew first. So I thought Cold Brew, well, he has a very solid team. I actually forgot to mention that he does not have. Let's actually put in no ink attack, which kind of mattered. Like increased attack, that's 50% more damage for both Mashal and Nishek. It's a lot of damage. But he had no block buffs, and Sifi was his only source of fixing fear, and that's like a 50-50 on the True Fear. But the block buffs was really what messed him up. Like, he just got stuff was being stolen, and once it was stolen, like that increased speed, the block debuffs being spread around, that's just a death knell, really, for any Hydra team. He swapped out Mashald, and he brought in Turvold, which gave him more damage than he would have had, but it didn't really fix the problem, I thought. Like, I think you look at the things he's lacking. Okay, Turvold comes in, gives himself his own increased attack, but by bringing those many buffs as well, it also becomes an issue with not having block buffs, that it can be stolen. So
yeah, it's just one of those ones where he has the potential with the team he had, because he showed it in the screenshot, but the chance of it messing up was very high with buffs getting stolen and spread, and then you can't outspeed them. So it was very risky moves, but it was fun to watch, man. Like, I enjoyed watching it,
Definitely, yeah. I felt bad because literally everything that could go wrong did go wrong. It's like, I feel you, because I've been there as well. Everyone's been there in Hydra. It all goes wrong. And then your team, I thought the only weakness I really saw this was the lack of revive. No revive. But again, that wasn't something that you need to do. You took out Drang and brought in Scrank, so you just swapped the damage, and the lack of revive didn't matter. Scrank, an epic champion. You want to talk a bit about briefly about Scrank and why you brought him in?
Yeah, so he was actually on the list from beforehand, right? So when it came down to the Walking Tomb Drang pick, it was like, do I go Walking Tomb or do I go Scrank? But the problem was I don't know Scrank's potential. I just was basing it off Saf from HH Gaming is a big fan of him and he
Yeah.
always speaks about Scrank. So I thought, worst comes to worst, I can try him out as an option after I choose the Walking Tomb. So I've at least bagged a legendary version in case like I can't survive in my team, right? Because I've got no revivers. I was kind of worried more about his sustain than his damage, I guess.
Yeah,
But
like if I move you slightly here, you can see he is very squishy, right? He is a very squishy champ.
But then what I found was because I got so much protection, no one in my team even goes below 50% the entire fight. Like my team is built like even with the clan boss draft or anything that I do, it's always based around damage reduction. And that's the theme I've always done, right? It's just nobody's gonna die. It's just when I'm gonna get eaten. That's what it's gonna come down to.
Yeah.
So once I figured out how long I could survive and how long Walking Tomb was surviving without taking a smack, I was like, I don't need his equalized heal here. And I'm here trying to try and detonate a few burns here and there. And then when I bought Scrank in, I was like, what on earth is this epic made of? Like, this dude is disgustingly good. Like, I was like, how have I been? Do you know what it is? Because once you, just as a general player, right, you max up a burn champion, you could do Spider 25, you could do a bit of this and that. And you don't really look to other burners, right? You're kind of settled in your ways.
Yeah.
This guy, he's my next 6-star on my main account for sure. Like he would actually go into my main Hydra team. He's that good.
Yeah, I've been meaning to do a video on him for ages, and I haven't. I've got him built, I think, and everything. But yeah, Scrank, he's a beast.
Do you know what?
He's smacks.
Do you know why he's so good? Because not many champions that bring a utility of for Hydra boss have a form of buff of attack. Whereas with his passive, he can stack up to 25% bonus damage and crit damage. So he's amplifying his damage there. He's got godlike multipliers all around the board. He's got AoE burn and he places his own increased attack and a weaken, which I didn't have in my team. So I've managed to bring in weaken through Scrank.
Yeah.
So that's what's really adding to my damage numbers as well. Yeah. So it's just a no-brainer.
Mine's not as good as yours was, but he's a monster. He's a monster. Yeah, that was a really cool pick. I like that a lot. And yeah, I think it's still a secret, right, as to what the full potential of your team is. I quite like that. Actually, it's like that question mark of where this is going to go.
I did, out of kind of feeling bad for how Cold Brew's run went, I did show a screenshot of my average, which I wasn't planning on doing because I just wanted to show his full potential and my full potential to give the viewers a glimpse of how close the battle actually could have been.
Oh, okay. So people do know.
That's the only reason why I showed how much I can around estimate.
Yeah.
But I can push more than what I showed anyway, so I was comfortable in doing that.
Yeah. And then when it came to the champions that I thought they might steal, I actually thought that Scratch might steal the Cardial, but he actually went with Taurus, so a different damage dealer. So that was interesting. I thought Cardial might be a really nice addition to his team, but he's gone for Taurus, which is arguably even better. And then, but I thought MTG, I wasn't sure what he'd steal off Scratch. I thought maybe that on Lydia. I was thinking Lydia maybe or Duchess. But yeah.
What was he missing from his team that would have changed everything maybe?
Well, you see, not much. I thought that he was missing the Provoke and he's limited on Veil, but I don't feel like you really need the Duchess when you've got the Cardial. So that was, one of the things I wasn't really sure. Skull Lord Vargal would have been okay. He'd have to sub out Ragash and he'd lose the decreased defense then. He'd have a Mischief tank. But it's quite awkward, honestly, for him to fit stuff in. He had just a really solid synergized team and kind of same with Scratch, so not too much to steal.
Yeah, Taras of Scratch's gear is going to be a scary time, man.
Absolutely. Oh. And then, I was thinking, for your two teams, I was like, man, I think you would love to steal the Crisp, but you don't own it, was what I thought. So I didn't know. What did you actually steal in the end off of Cold Brew? Does it even matter? Probably doesn't matter.
I'm probably not stealing anybody. I was gonna say Tila Gormain as an option because Tila Tila's got a way of placing continuous heals, and Hanorok actually cleanses extra debuffs if you've got multiple continuous heals up.
Oh, that's true.
I thought it could be a really good play to not get True Feared as much and cleanse some of the other debuffs with Hanorok's passive.
Yeah.
Also, she does place the Hex to help out Mishinaki, so if it ever drops off, then there's an extra form of Hex on the team to keep that up consistently.
Yeah.
So I thought it could be a good option. I just don't know if I've got the time to try out properly. We've got like 1 day left, and then Monday we all go live, right?
Yes,
So
yeah.
it's just like, is she really gonna out damage Scrank, or is it just gonna be the same and I'm bringing it in for the sake of it, sort of thing?
Yeah,
Because
true.
I did waste a lot of time with Morley Tankard. Um, I,
Yeah.
I did try it, like everyone was pushing me to do that, right? And then I was like, I put her in the team. She did boost the damage of everyone else with her passive, but I'm
Hmm.
losing out on like this 15 to 20 million of Coroner because
Yeah.
Morley does no damage. So
Yeah, yeah.
basically, like overall in the entirety of the run, I actually lose damage by having Morley in, but she's just more consistent in terms of provokes, right?
Yeah, that's
But
interesting. Yeah, because you were
yeah,
asking me, and I was like, "Oh, Molly's definitely a better champ. He's better than Coronar." But for
yeah,
your
it's
team, it
just
didn't. Yeah, you lost too
Coroner
much damage.
because I got him in cruelty and he does AoEs every time. He
Mm.
actually ramps up the defense mitigations like really really quick with Mishinaki.
Yeah,
So the more he goes, the more quickly I can just like destroy the heads, and it
yeah, yeah,
worked out good for me, right?
yeah. I think replacing Drang was the right call. Like that was my initial thought. Was Drang? He's bringing the healing you don't need. He's bringing the burn, which you already have. He does the detonation, but yeah, I figured you could probably find someone else that would do more damage. So it was cool to see the Scrank. Very cool. And I thought Cold Brew, I don't know if he has two Hanorak actually, but I thought for his team, he would love to steal the two Hanorak, right? He doesn't have block buffs and he's going to struggle with the anti-fear, and two Hanorak solves both of those problems for him.
Oh,
So
does he have two Hunter Rock?
I don't think I don't think he does. I
Oh,
think he said he only had 3 of your champions. I don't think she was one,
okay.
but I'm not sure.
It's interesting. If he had two Hunter Rock, that would have probably been the pick that I would have chose as well for his team. I
Yeah.
think it would have taken it to the next level for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Right. Then we had day number 2, which was we had Odd One versus me, and then we had Deadwood versus Hell Hades. So Odd One was up first. He had this team right here. I thought there was actually quite a few problems with Odd One's team. But he really pulled it out of the bag. Like, he had no block buffs here, no mischief
Yeah,
tank. Like, that is an absolutely brutal combination, right? You cannot stop mischief stealing your buffs, and he's
that's
going to
rule number one.
steal off anyone. So absolute disaster. And then he's also quite limited on the perfect fail with Tutora. So he made the sub out. He took out Rule. Sorry, where are he? He took out Rule and he put in Deliana instead. So Deliana brought him block buffs AoE, which fixed one of the big problems. He didn't have the mischief tank, so that was a bit random for him. I think he had Ursula built to do a little bit of mischief tanking, but inconsistent. But he was able to power through. And then actually, I thought it was a very creative. I totally derped on this, obviously, but limited veil. He just put a reflex set onto Tora, so Tora's getting his cooldowns back quicker, and that solved in a big way the veil uptime problem. He actually had pretty good uptime, but yeah, this I don't know. What did you think about this team? For me, I was honestly super impressed by the team Odd One put together, and I thought he really optimized it well. He made a great sub in, and I was really impressed and very very scared throughout the entire run, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I did say from the beginning, like I actually did a video before everything went live,
Hmm.
and I think I said that I think both of you are gonna hit over 100 million. So I didn't underestimate it, but I knew that Rule was coming out for somebody, and I think
Yeah,
Deliana was the perfect choice for that. Deliana is very underrated. Like when
yeah,
you speak about free champions, she brings in all AoEs. She's got decreased resistance. She's got leech, a form of healing. She's got block buffs AoE. She's just a great champion overall, man. So,
yeah,
and she's
yeah,
simple to build, right? Like, and
yeah.
then she's got
Very.
this passive as well, where she can increase her accuracy, so you can actually focus more on resistance stats
Yeah.
if you got enough HP. So it's a very good synergized kit there.
Yeah, yeah, I like it a lot. I do. So yeah, I thought if he beat me, I was expecting him to maybe steal Shamail. I think there's actually lots of options for him to steal off of my team then. I think the Shamail would have fixed any sort of problems with the fear. I actually think I was wrong about that, though. I think with the reflex to Tora, he would have been fine. Ugo brings a consistent block buffs, which is probably better than Deliana overall for his team. And then he could also have stolen Ninja just for more damage potentially. But yeah, I wonder. I must ask him now. Like, it would actually be really cool to get him to steal one of my champs and to incorporate it into the team and see if he can push further or what.
That would
That'd
actually
be
be a
cool.
really cool video idea for him as well.
Yeah,
Like if he could just steal the champion he was planning on and then try to do another run,
yeah,
and just because he's got the team built already, right? He just has
he
to put in one
does.
champion.
Yeah, so
Would be interesting.
I'd expect he probably would end up stealing Ugo. Brings you another decreased defense in case Sissia doesn't like weak hits or something. And yeah, the cleanse and the healing is kind of nice too. So Probably that, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. Then we had my team. My team had a lot of problems actually, as we saw. I was just limited on picks, so no provoke, no reliable provoke, just one taunt set. Same problems MTG, just one taunt set originally. No decreased attack and no increased speed. So I took out Godseeker and I put in Molly Tankard, who I absolutely love. What a champion. So that fixed the provoke stuff. Like we could just put a provoke set, or we didn't even need a provoke set anymore. No taunt sets needed. Molly did it all on her own. But I still had the problem of no decreased attack or increased speed. So the increased speed limited my damage and made manual quite important to make sure we get the moves off the right time. And then no decreased attack just meant that Wrath was always had the potential to murder us, which is pretty terrifying during the run, to be honest.
I was saying to you yesterday, actually, when your guys' run came on, right?
Yeah.
I ordered a Domino's pizza. I like, oh my god, I was having a whole feast here. I was excited, and then boom, the stream crashed, and I was like, no, what happened? My movie night's ruined. But
yeah. Man, that's nutty. But yeah, Molly, she's such a good champ. I'm so glad I subbed her in. She's got crazy base stats, really. 80 base resistance, 107 base speed. Like, this champion is a monster, ridiculous. But she comes in with a provoke for 1 turn, 50% chance to provoke for 2 turns, and the reflect damage helps her mischief tank. Not perfect, but pretty consistent. So a good mischief tank for me, which was great. And yeah, with a reflex set, she could just keep provoke on basically all the time with decent speed. And 107, she's got a good base to build off of. Also brings her revive, block damage, nice and safe, and the turn meter 25% when hit by a boss. Like that's actually not, when you think about that. Like you think about Arbiter does like a 30% turn meter boost every 3 turns. Like that's crazy good. Think like, oh, Seeker, think he enables so many different clan boss compositions because it's a 30% every 2 turns. Molly's doing 25% basically every turn in Hydra because she's almost always going to be hit by some sort of AoE. Maybe not every time. Maybe it's only every 2 turns she takes, really. But, you know, she does a hell of a lot of turn meter. It's very strong. So this champion I was really happy to sub her in.
Yeah, I actually didn't have her like you. I went into the Guardian ring and I sacrificed all my champions. I built her up, high resistance. My God, man, it just didn't work for my team. And she just, I don't know. Like, I really do like her, but in my team, she just seemed like she was doing absolutely nothing. When I watched your team, it was like you're relying on her. Like,
yeah. I did the same. I don't own her. I got her from the Guardian ring as well. I had to sacrifice a bunch of dupes on the test server.
Do you know what? I nearly sacrificed my Genzin, right? One of my Genzins to get her.
Can't do
that. And then I was like, even on the test server where I know it's not affecting my main, I cannot do this. I took you straight out. I went into my other factions and I got rid of someone else.
Yeah. So my plan, obviously, I've already said I'm going to be stealing Nekmothar. Nekmothar fixes my 2 remaining problems. I would say we now don't have a problem with provoke because of Molly. Nekmothar brings decreased attack and increased speed. So basically, my team is now a perfect team and win is secured.
Do you know what? You're facing Hades, right?
Facing Hell Hades, yeah.
Yeah. I think we did a collab and I think yours was the team that he was least worried about.
Ah, really?
Yeah, so after seeing the potential and now you got a Nekmo, he's probably thinking, damn.
I say he's worried now, mate.
Yeah,
we'll
if I get scared. But even then, I don't know the potential of Hades' team yet because that +4 Cupidus is... If he gets some heads down and he starts smacking, you might be in for a long night, man.
Could be. All right, well, let's talk about this first. So Hell Hades' team. This was voted really highly. He was actually ahead of your team in the draft.
By 1 vote, imagine.
Was it only one? Oh.
Yeah, because I think it was around 1 to 2 votes was the difference.
Oh, wow. Decider. That's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, I actually thought Hell Hades has quite a lot of problems with his team. He's no mischief tank, no decreased speed, limited provoke, and limited veil. So I thought he had quite a lot of issues right there to actually keep the headlock down. He had Martyr on a 4-turn. Husk is unreliable. No mischief tank. So he's got the block buffs, but you know, with Elva throwing buffs around the place with her A1, it's gonna get messy real fast. And if they steal like the counter attack and stuff, that could be nasty, you know. And then limited veil. Elva's bringing some veil, but it's unreliable. Thought he had a great sub in as well. I took out Martyr and brought in Lord Champfort, which is actually really, really well done in terms of his build. I love this because Champfort comes in, brings a small version, but does bring a small version of decreased speed. He can do a little bit of mischief tanking with his passive, though flashes a bit Archbishop, but he brings you a decreased accuracy. So he's able to actually stack a decent amount of resistance on his champs, and he lands decreased accuracy on mischief. And then even without a proper mischief tank, he's still stopping that from actually going through. So yeah, I thought this was a really, really good pick to bring in to round it out.
Yeah.
Doesn't fix every problem, but and
So
it
who is
fixes
he
a
gonna?
lot of them.
Do you know who he's gonna steal? Or
I
did he
don't
say?
remember if he said. So I guessed that he might steal Kantra, but I don't know. I didn't feel like anyone on Deadwood's team would make a massive difference to him, honestly. I feel like Kantra maybe, but
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe Lady Kimmy, but
I think he would steal one of those two.
yeah, but
Honestly, we'll see.
he might be better just sticking with this core 5 and swapping somebody else, or maybe swapping the Husk. I don't know.
Archbishop is very underrated.
Yeah.
Like that's one of your favorite champions as well. I was
Love
saying
him.
it to him. I was like, Nubs put me on Archbishop. I still don't have him though. He's sick.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, he's a great champ. He's so good. Yeah, I know Hell Hades likes him a lot. Uses him in like Iron Twins and stuff too.
Oh, is it?
He's another Archbishop fan. Yeah, but yeah, Hell Hades team. Obviously we don't know the full potential of it. That's still a secret, so we will have to see. But yeah, I think it's going to depend on who he can sub in and whatnot, because I think there's still a lot of difficulties with the team. It's hard. It's just really hard to build a perfect team. Honestly, is the thing. Like if he got a Krisk in there, right? If he could swap Martyr for Krisk, it's like now we're talking. Now this team wins the competition, maybe. But
Yeah.
other than that, well, maybe not. Probably wouldn't beat Scratch still, but it'd be very scary. But we should
I can't
see.
call it, I don't know what numbers we're going to see on the semi-final. Honestly, because everyone's going to be bringing their A game and focusing like their life depends on it, right? I don't know, man.
Indeed.
I don't know. It's a sticky one.
Let's talk about Deadwood's team first. I think he did come last overall in the actual results, unfortunately.
So did he get the lowest damage out of everybody? Was it close?
It was close. I think he was lowest. I thought the issues he doesn't have a mischief tank. He has limited decrease attack, and he's got no veil, right? So Head of Torment is really gonna be a big problem for his team. Is there anyone that you would have swapped out of his team to make this like really, really optimized here? I don't know. It's really tough, honestly. I think
I would have honestly brought in Rector Draft over Pythion.
That's actually maybe a good call. Yeah, it gives
Because
you enough healing.
He would have got more resistance as well. He would have got revives in his team as well. He's got the veils. I think it would have been a no-brainer option.
Yeah, you might be right there. You might be right. Yeah, it's tough. I think you'd need to make a couple of subs to round it out. It's tough.
And then again, he would have to keep Mistrider, right?
Mistrider, yeah, who's going to be really hard to keep alive with the extra turns. He's just going to be squishy and die. So I don't know. That's a tough one. It is very hard. But yeah, I thought if he was to steal off Deadwood, I thought maybe Venus. So if he was to steal off Hell Hades, but yeah, they were kind of awkward. Like I felt like neither of them had stuff that they would really want to steal off each other, which hurts them a bit. Whereas if you can steal something crazy, that's a big advantage. But yeah. I mean, I guess we're both in a semi-final ourselves. You versus Scratch and me versus Hell Hades. I would say that probably my bet would be on Scratch versus me, but who knows in the finals? What do you think? I'm voting against you. I'm kicking you here. Worst friend.
See, guys, I ordered pizza for him. I was hyped.
No.
I was acting like it was the FIFA World Cup. And then and now he goes
betrayed.
I feel betrayed. No, I don't know, man. I can't call it between you and Hades because I know that Hades had a bit of bad setup in his team.
Yeah.
So he didn't really. I don't think he picked stuff at the right time from what I was looking at anyway. Maybe he could have just been because he's seen where Deadwood got and he was just getting a bit complacent.
Yeah, but that's true. Yeah, just kind of hide your potential.
Yeah, but maybe when the pressure's on and he knows what you've already brought with over 100 million and now you got a Necmo, he's going to be focusing a lot more. So I think it will be very close between you two. For me, I think the only chance of winning is if Scratch literally gets the worst RNG known to man. I'm talking 3% after 3% after 3%.
That can happen. That can happen. It's Hydra. It does happen.
It's
not much, but it does.
If his DPS gets swallowed and he doesn't have a chance to get them back out, that is the only way. But
yeah,
like I wouldn't bank with it though. I'm probably just gonna try show the potential of my team and just be happy with it. Enjoy the finals.
Like Torment can mess him up. Like Lydia is almost definitely getting feared by Torment. Kaimar with his AoEs, he's gonna get feared a good bit too. And like you said, if one of the damage gets eaten, like he could maybe struggle. It's a it's a pretty big maybe, but it could happen, perhaps. Like we'll see.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I don't know. It depends on Suffering as well, right? If Suffering comes out a lot, it could actually diminish the returns of his damage as well, right?
Yeah,
the boss is passive, so banking on Suffering to be in there 100% of the time. Yeah, nice.
I think Decay is also the same. I think AoE damage reduction. Yeah, those two suck a lot. But yeah, all right. Look, there we go. A breakdown of how stuff has gone so far. What we think of the teams, what we think, or how we think things might go in future rounds. We shall see. I'm certainly very excited to see how things are going to go for every single of these semi-final matchups. Honestly, I think all the teams are going to probably improve since the last time, mixing it up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be pretty funky.
It's funny. I was saying with Saf yesterday. I was like, shall we switch it up and just ask Scratch if I could bring in Grisor to make it fair? Oh, that would have been close though. That could have been a close battle.
Yeah,
we're not doing it. I'm keeping with my boy Scrank. We got this.
All right, I like it. All right, guys. Well, there you go. Thank you for watching, YSC. Anything you want to say here before we go?
No, I guess I'll see you in the semifinals. And
yeah, that's right.
All that good stuff.
Could be us against each other in the finals.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine a whole plot twist and it's just me versus you?
It could be
doing a collab speaking about everyone else winning.
Yeah, it could absolutely happen. It could.
Oh god, that'd be funny.
Well, there we go, guys. Thanks for watching. Check out YSC's channel, link below. I think we're gonna go record a collab over there as well, so you can go watch that too. It'll be linked down below. See you next time. Goodbye.